So, good evening, ma'am. This is my report about Republic Act 9255, Administrative Order Number 1 Series of 2016. So, reverse implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act 9255, which is an act allowing illegitimate children to use the surname of their father. So, we have rule 1 to 7, which is first is rule 1 coverage, which is covers the reverse implementing rules and regulations shall apply to all illegitimate children from born during the effective date of RE number 9255. Rule number 2, which is the definition of terms. As used in the reverse implementing rules and regulation, the following term shall mean. First is the public document refers to the affidavit of admission of fraternity and other public documents enumerated under memorandum. Second is which is the father and deed signed by him where he expressly recognized the paternity of the child during his lifetime. Third is the affidavit must use the surname of the father. Fourth is the local civil registry office is a department of the city of municipal government and mandated of responsibilization functions. So, ang local service registry, which is sila may mukuan to mo sila yung sila yung kumbaga sila yung entertain kung ano ang nilang kailangan. Sa Philippine Foreign Service, it is refers to all Philippine embassies, mission, consulate general, and other foreign service establishment in the Department of Foreign Affairs. So that's and 4 is 6. The Civil Registrar General is the head of Philippine Statistic Authority who has the power of orders and instruction to the local sub-registrar reading performs in their duties. So also the Civil Registrar General has much power to issue the orders and instruction to local service. 7. Guardian refers to a person lawfully invested with the power and charge with the duty of taking care of who are defect of each understanding of self-control is considered incapable administrating his own affair. So the guardian has a power of taking care of his child and to understand the child well. So it is the certificate of the birth or municipal form number 102 is the prescribed from use of the declaration of parts and circumstance surrounding the birth of persons for purpose of registration. So 9, which is the report of birth or ROB, is the prescribed from use for the declaration of facts and circumstance surrounding the birth of friends born to abroad Filipino parents purpose of which is katong nangatawot into abroad and transfer to Filipino and purpose of registration. Rule number 3. What to file? What to file? Meaning, the following document shall be filed to the LCRORP FSP for registration. First is the Affidavit of Admission of Fraternity. Second is private handwritten instrument. Third is affidavit to use the surname of the father. So that's the documentation or the file. Who may file? The following person are authorized to file the LCRO or PFSP. First is the father, mother, the person himself of age, or the guardian may file the affidavit of admission of parents. So the mother, the mother is or the guardian may file affidavit of admission of paternity. Second is the father, mother of person himself of age guardian may file the affidavit to use the surname of the father. Third, the father shall personally file the private handwritten instrument. Usually, as I noticed, the father, ang father Joy mo file og private handwritten into LGO or etc. For births that occurs in the Philippines are the affidavit of admission of paternity, private handwritten instrument, or affidavit to use the surname of the father, executed the Philippines shall be registered at LCRO or the place of BIR. Rule number 6. When to register. The affidavit of admission of paternity, private handwritten instrument of the affidavit to use the surname of the father's assistant registered within 20 days of the date of execution. Otherwise, affidavit admission paternity, the rule on delayed registration order administrative order number 1 series of 1993. So using the surname of the father is too good. It working in 20 days from. Rule number 7. How to register. The city or municipal civil registrar, consul general or vice consul shall examine the completeness and correctness of entries in the certificate of live birth. If there are consistence in the MCR or consul general or the vice consul shall not accept the document from the registration. So they accept the following documents of registration, which is the COLB or ROB. Second is affidavit of admission and paternity, private handwritten instrument, affidavit to use the surname of the father. 7. Record the entires the entries of the COLB in the register of birth, affidavit admission of paternity, private handwritten instrument in the affidavit use surname of the father in the register and legal instrument. 4th, annotate the COLB or ROB and enter the annotation of the remarks portion of the register of births. Distribute the annotated registered admission of paternity affidavit to use the surname of the father or private handwritten instrument any supporting documents are: first, copy to the CRG, second, copy to the LCRO, and PFSP where the event was registered. The third is the registrant or owner the document. Fourth shall be written and filling by LCRO and PFSP. 6. Rule number 8. Effects of recognition. First is a rule of illegitimate child not acknowledged by the father shall use the surname of the mother. Second, illegitimate child acknowledged by the father shall use the surname of the father if no EOSP is executed. And 3. Illegitimate child age 0 to 6 years old acknowledged by the father shall use the surname of the father of the mother of the guardian. Okay. In illegitimate child age 7 to 17 old acknowledged by the father use the surname of the father of if the child execute an EUSP fully aware of its consequence as stated by the mother guardian. So if there are consistent as upon 5. Upon reaching the age of majority, an legitimate child acknowledged by the father shall be surname of his father provided without need of any attestation. 9. Annotations. If affidavit of admission of paternity at the back of the COLB is executive if there is no EOSP executed by the mother of person himself. If the child shall be registered under the surname of the mother. So there shall be annotation on the COLB. However, shall be annotation on the remarks of the registered birth or the file of the registrar. If a separate affidavit admission of paternity is executed and there is no EOSP, EOSF, executed by the mother person himself, the child shall be registered under surname the mother. So, similar siya sa A, that there shall be an annotation to the SLB or ROB, and it must be the remarks of the register of the birth. Without affidavit to use the surname of the father, affidavit of admission of paternity is executed in a separate public document and there is no EOSF executed order of the guardian. B. If a private handwritten instrument is presented and there is no EOSF with affidavit to use the surname of the father, if admission of paternity is executed in a separate public documents and EOSF is executed by the mother and guardian in the absence of the mother. 10. Rule number 10. Separability clause. If any provision of reverse implementing rules on and regulation and declared void are unconstitutional. So, the remaining portion of provisions there are shall be not be effective by the declaration. So, there shall be not be effective for in rule number 10. This is there are no prevention that are not be affected the by declaration. All circular memorandum rules and regulation of part thereof consistent with the prevention of the reverse implementing rules and regulation are hereby replaced or modified accordingly. So memorandum rules and regulation or part of the inconsistent with the prevention to reverse implementing rules of regulation. Effective effectivity. The reverse implementing rules and regulations shall take effect when effect in 15 days after its publication in newspaper or general circulation in the Philippines. And that's all.